what my vlog is all about. Yes, I gave it the name Kaki's Vlog. However, it is not entirely a vlog. It is a channel that is for family, for everyone, basically for children. I get to share a lot of my experience as a former class teacher, as an educator, and as someone who's had a lot of experience on the field with children from all levels, if that makes any sense. So, um, that is what my handle is all about. And I'm going to be using many ways to communicate. I hope I keep this up for the time I'm willing to do this today. I'm not used to whispering, but I'm going to give it a shot because it is ASMR, isn't it? So, that is basically what my handle is all about. My YouTube handle is just for education, some a sprinkle of entertainment here and there. But yes, that's basically what my YouTube handle is for. And because I'm trying to also get monetized, right? Um, there's a lot of expectation on small handles to actually live up to expectation and get monetized. We have to do a lot of things. We have to post a lot. And if you look at my handle, I haven't posted anything in 8 months. 8 months, I think so. So basically, I'm using this opportunity to do an ASMR where I get to share different things from story time to how to land a job, a teaching job, by the way, in Japan. Okay, so yes, I titled it Story Time. However, I'm going to be sharing some tips. So if you're someone who's looking to travel, who's looking to teach in Japan, or you're interested and just excited about the idea, just stay tuned and I will give you the 411 on what you need to do to get a job as a teacher in Japan. Well, I say it's easy somehow, yes and no, because it took me like a whole year to actually follow the process after getting the job, do some online trainings and a lot of processes. So yeah, you're welcome to my ASMR Storytime live stream. On this live stream, I'm also going to be talking about my other channel, which is dedicated to short stories, short films, and I mean a whole lot of entertainment as pertains to realistic stories. Um, the other channel is There's a Films. So if you go on YouTube and you go on the search button, just type There's a Films and you're gonna see my short film there. Do well to subscribe, like, share, comment, and thank you. So as I was saying, this is my first official and serious ASMR. I've been hearing ASMR for a very long time, but I decided to give it a go, right? So basically, there are a lot of people who are very sensory. They're very sensory. They love, you know, sounds. Um, I'm whispering. Yeah. So I am whispering because the title of this live stream is ASMR, right? And ASMR has to do with sounds, sensory, right? So I can be clicking glasses, I can be laughing, I can be whispering, I can be making funny sounds. That's exactly what ASMR is about. So stay 86. I'm whispering to pay my rent, pay my tuition, take care of everything. Okay, so a lot of people feel that when you move to a new country, it is all easy. No, it takes time actually. It takes time for you to settle, and then you gradually build yourself. So, yes, if you want to travel, if you want to relocate, if you want to make a better meaning for yourself, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do just that. Take risks. Take those good risks. Take the adventure. Go all out. Study. Get your skills. And the sky is your limit. Alright? So basically, when I got in here, it was quite difficult because I had to do everything basically, pay my tuition, pay my house rent, take care of every single thing, and I had to do a lot of planning. So when you're planning, hi, Leighton Burnside, hi, stay 86, I'm in the UK. Where are you? Okay, so basically, you need to plan. You need to do lots and lots and lots of planning because you're taking on clients, you're taking on a whole lot of responsibilities, right? And you're trying to see that those plans are not failing, all right? Nicola Byrne, what's going on? Welcome to my life, Nicola. This is called ASMR. I don't have a sore throat. This is ASMR storytelling, right? So I'm just gonna be telling and sharing some of my stories and how it's been really. So yes, Nicola, I don't have a sore throat. Yeah, so welcome to my life. So, like I was saying, when I got into the UK, I had to plan because I had clients. I had to work, I had to schedule meetings, I had to schedule appointments, and you have to meet up with those appointments, okay? So, basically, every single thing you're doing has to be responsible because when you go late for an appointment, your client is not going to call you back. Duh. When you go late for any single meeting, it shows that you don't keep to time. You're not someone that is reliable, and people want to work with people that are reliable. Alright? Summer, happy birthday to your mom. Happy birthday to your mom, Summer. I wish her long life and prosperity. Summer, happy birthday to your mom. Okay, so basically, Nicola, I'm doing this ASMR because number one, I've observed that a lot of people are sensory, right? And because you're sensory, they want to hear soft sounds, soft tones, soft voices, right? They want to have something that is very sensory and something they can relate to. Some people are very critical about noises. Some people like soothing noises. So last night I did something about noise. So it was kind of noisy, but some people like it. What does my voice sound like? Okay, so you'll have to check my YouTube channel and see what I sound like. Right? Summer, I'm fine. I'm doing very well. How are you? How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm fine. I don't have a sore throat. Okay, so this is what I sound like. Stay 86. Um, this is exactly how I sound like. But yeah, I'm doing an ASMR story time where I talk about my experiences in the country ever since I got in here and the things I've experienced and things like that. Okay, so yeah. So hi Nicola, hi Stay 86. Um, Hi, Summer. Happy birthday once again to your mom. Um, right. Okay, so do you guys prefer me talking like this or you want me to do the whispers? Let me know. What would you guys prefer I do? Do I do the ASMR or do I do this one? No whisper. Okay, so that's one vote. Nicola, what do you think? What do you reckon? Normal voice, okay? Nicola doesn't mind. Summer, do you mind? What do you think I should do? Do I do the whispers? Let's take a vote. We're in a democracy, aren't we? So that's one vote. Is Summer still here? I sound like I need cough sweets. Okay, so let's do the normal voice. So basically, what I was trying to say for those of you who couldn't really hear me, um, I'm talking about my experience ever since I got in here. Um, I'm talking about the different paradigm shifts I've had, the perceptions, and things like that. So, my channel is Kaki's vlog. I'm Sharon, by the way. And basically, what my handle does is talk about various ways we can reach children, right? I used to be a teacher for 11 years. And so I've garnered enough experience basically, and whatever I share is born out of experience, research, studies, and all of that, if that makes any sense. So, if you look at my YouTube channel, you're going to see how I started the progression into foods that children should be having, foods everyone basically should be having, because my channel is talking about everyone. It's talking about the family. I love family. Oh, Nicola, you live in the UK. That's fantastic. Where in the UK? Whereabouts in the UK are you based? I'm based in London. I like kids, Nicola. I like kids. I've worked with kids for over 11 years. I was a college teacher. I taught in the College of Education in my country. And when I moved here, also taught in classrooms, in detention, primary, high school, reception, everything. So, yeah, I think I like kids. And so basically, my channel is dedicated to, you know, giving awareness, sharing awareness about my experience as a teacher that can help other teachers, parents, families, and also children. Because back home, the children that I taught are now in the university, right? And those children are following me, so they see what I post on here, and I'm very mindful of the comment, the content that I share. So yeah, that is kind of the UK. Yeah. So I have friends and family in Wales as well. So that's cool, Nicola. So basically, with those shared experiences, I felt okay. Why not enlighten people, give them an orientation about things that children actually need? Because sometimes parents feel that the things they give children or how they parent children might actually be the best, but no man is an island, and for parents, we sort of learn from one another, so we rub off on one another. And it's fantastic because you use that opportunity to learn from other parents and see what's working for them and see if you can infuse it in the family, if that makes any sense. So that is basically why I sort of started this my channel, to share foods, how children can grow, how you can develop them, in their learning development, if that makes any sense, really. So when I started off with my channel, I started with, you know, cognition things, basically things that help cognition. Cognition is, understanding. All of us were kids sometime in our lives. We were all children. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that happened in our childhood that we want to forget. There's certain traumas that happened that we do not want to relive.
for a lot of people, they don't also want to bring kids into the world because of certain traumas that they went through. And that is fine. That is okay, right? So, Nicola, that's fine. I mean, that's okay. That's fine. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. And I'd like to have you back on my channel. You can subscribe and, if you like the content anyway. So have fun, Nicola. So basically, a lot of times, a lot of adults will, yeah, stare says, you'll be missed, Nicola. Yeah, that's nice. So basically, as I was saying, a lot of adults like myself, we look back at our childhood and we're like, thanks, Nicola. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. So basically, we look at our childhood and we're like, you know what? I don't want to bring kids into this world because I don't want them to experience what I experience for some. And then for some, it's like, you know what? I want to have kids so that they don't get to experience what I experienced. I know better, so I'm going to do better. So it might be in terms of learning, in terms of parenting. If you were someone who was abandoned, you were neglected as a child, you definitely don't want to abandon and neglect your child, if that makes any sense. So basically, my channel is, centered around that because I like kids. I've worked with kids. I've held confidential information that kids have shared with me that they didn't want to share with their parents, which shouldn't be, by the way, because when your children bring certain information to you, when your children, hello, Axel played 9. Hi. So when your children bring certain information to you and they're like, Mommy, this happened, that happened. How do you take such information? Do you call them liars? Do you shut them down? Do you shut them off? Do you tell them off? Do you listen? Do you actually stop to listen to them? These are the reasons why children want to come back and tell you things. And when you shut them off, they do not want to come back because they remember exactly how you were to them when they brought things to you. So every single adult has a child in them. If I bring something to you right now and I'm like, look, this is what happened to me, I am hoping that you'll be a listening ear. And that's why it's important to do a lot of listening than talking, right? When people sort of bring their issues to you, they know that you might not be the solution, you might not have a solution. However, they're hoping that you will listen. They're hoping that you empathize, right? And that is basically what my channel is about. So this you're in Liverpool, stay. I'm in London. How is Liverpool, by the way? So, welcome to my channel, every single person joining. If this is your first time, welcome to Kaki's vlog. Yeah, so I'm just telling you guys what my channel is all about, because it is important that we raise young men and women who will actually do the society good. The society right now is in shambles, if you agree with me. It's cold. It's also cold here. It's cold. It's cold, really. Like, literally, it's getting colder and colder. I was reading something on the news last night and it was talking about snow in the US and that it's going to get here soon. So, I think we should puffer up. We all should puffer up, jacket up, and just keep warm. Yeah. So basically, it is important that I share information from the class. You have dandruff. Is it because of the cold? Is it because of the cold? Or the scalp is naturally dry and the water is bad? What's going on? So basically, oh, snow. Oh, so sorry. You have you used the Nizoral shampoo? I know that's what the GPs prescribe, but I mean, if you want that sorted, you need to see the GP. They readily give out, I mean, recommend the Nizoral shampoo. So you might want to try that out, day 86. So basically, that's what this channel is all about. I'll give you a story out of the many stories that, I've come across in the classroom. So there was a time I was in class and I was teaching creative writing. And after that class, the children were given assignments, right? And these were 8-year olds. They were given an assignment and they were to turn the assignment in the next day, right? And so by the next day, by the next day, I was, scoring and assessing the assignments. And I read a very touching essay. Now, while that essay had nothing to do with the topic, it was offshoot. Like, I've given the class an assignment to do this and do this based on the task that we did today. So the assignment is just like a follow up, just to know, to test your mastery if you understood what was actually taught. And that's another thing. There's a whole lot of controversy about assignments, about homework. A lot of people are divided on that. They don't want assignments, they don't want homework. But there's something that we're missing here. Now, when your children are giving homework, when children are given assignments to do, this is the reason why assignments are given. In a class of 10 people, oh, sorry. Stair says that Stair a man or a woman? You say you get called frosty. Is it because of the dandruff? Have you done anything about it? Have you done anything about it? Does it itch? Does it itch when it flakes? So basically, frosty this okay. That's a bummer. So basically, when you're given assignments, when you're given homework, the idea is to test mastery, is to test knowledge and understanding. The idea is not to saddle you with work. We are adults. There are many trainings we attend, and the coaches or the trainers give us an assessment on the spot. They want to test if we are understanding. That's the same way homeworks go for children. The school is trying to test for knowledge and understanding, to test and see if, I taught these children about abstract nouns. I want to know if they understood. So we're going to do an assessment on the spot, and then I'm going to give them a short assessment, which is statutory in education. It is in the curriculum that they are supposed to be given these assignments because they have textbooks, they have tasks to do. And when they're given these tasks, the teachers need to assess if they understood. And if they didn't understand, the teacher then retakes that class again. So in the next class, the teacher might do an assessment. Can you remind us of what we did yesterday? If the teacher is getting the feeling that, oh, these children have forgotten, they didn't understand, she quickly or he quickly runs through that topic again in like 5-7 minutes. And then she or he would have done a good job in trying to know that, okay, I've done my best. So when children are presented with homework, it is not to label them, it is to test for mastery. It is also to test that if your child is a slow learner, they have an opportunity with the assignment to come up to speed. So imagine me bringing a new concept on YouTube. I'm talking about a new platform. I'm talking about a new setting on YouTube. And then no YouTuber is explaining to YouTubers, to the watchers, to the viewers that this is how to use this setting. everyone is going to get confused. And that is why people are doing repetitive things on YouTube. There's nobody that's doing a new thing. Everyone is trying to replenish or replace or redo what other people have done in their own creative way. And that's the reason why homework is important. I can't stress enough the importance of homework. Another another benefit of homework is bonding time. That's the opportunity your child has to bond with you. You also get to know if they're learning fast, if they're slow, high achievers, if they're in the middle point. This is a whole lot of benefit the homework and the assignment is doing for that family. I think everyone should be open to that opportunity and open to that mindset that, oh, homework is not all bad and work, work, work. It is an opportunity to learn about your children as well. So stay 86 Frosty the Snowman. I don't know that song, but I like the song. Um, I mean, if you have dandruff, I think you should check out the Nizoral shampoo. I heard it works very well. A friend was prescribed the Nizoral shampoo by the GP, and so far it's working well for her. You can check on Google, check for the reviews. Yeah, it works. I'm also using an anti-dandruff shampoo, and it works well. And I think the water as well causes some scaling in the scalp. But aside that, I think you should oil and moisturize. When you moisturize the scalp, it does a whole lot of benefits, a whole lot of benefits for you. Try to leave the hair moisturized, steam, do some steaming in the hair. If you have some aloe vera, just as you're steaming, use the aloe vera to steam the scalp, the roots, and then wrap it up for like 10 minutes and then wash off. It helps a lot. Yeah. So you can try these opportunities so people don't call you Frosty the Snowman. Yeah. So, like I said, my channel is basically, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, like I said, my channel is basically using that opportunity to educate. If you look at my shorts feed, if you look at my videos, you're gonna see some researches I made. They're talking about all these things that will help children learn. You don't have a shiny nose. That's fine. So basically, do I have a shiny nose? I don't have a shiny nose. And it's not cold too. So basically, that's what Kaki's vlog is all about. It's all about providing infotainment, information in an entertaining and educative way to everybody. Thank you. Thank you. So basically, that's what Kaki's vlog is all about. My other channel is dedicated to short films. I released the film some months ago. It's titled Avocado. Avocado as in avocado, yeah. It's just summarized my experience when I got into the country. And there's a lot of stories to tell. There's a lot of stories to share, but I just kept it brief because it's a short film and there will be opportunities to talk about many more stories. Do you know any jokes? Do I know any jokes? I don't think I do. I prefer being told jokes. Let me see. Do I know any joke? Let me see. I only know, do you know why the chicken crossed the road? And let me tell you, I do not know the answer. I do not know the answer. Do you know why the chicken crossed the road? No. So yeah, that's what's worse than two girls running with scissors. I tell you, I do not know the answer to that joke. What's worse than two girls running with scissors? Two girls scissoring with the runs. Oh wow, that's funny. So basically, that's all Kaki's vlog is all about, educating. So I also want to talk about learning. Now, for as many people that are watching this live, I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're watching from, but let me share something with you. Now, when we were younger, I don't know how you were taught in school. I don't know how you were taught in class. I don't know if you were taught at all. But it is essential to understand that we have our learning styles, we have various ways we learn, right? Yeah, okay. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Stay 86. Thank you and have a very non-frosty day. Have fun. Have fun. So basically, that's fine. That's fine. I did some hoovering myself before I started my life. So yeah, it was good to have you on my life. Thank you very much for keeping it entertaining and interesting, interactive too. So thank you. So it is important to know that as children, there are many ways that children learn. There are 7 learning ways. Thank you. You're too kind. Stay 86. I will be here tomorrow, the same time, so you can catch me on the live. Thank you for joining. So, and try what I told you to try, the Nizoro shampoo, if you wanna. Okay, so basically, there are many ways that children learn. There are 7 ways actually, if I remember top of my head. Thank you. If I remember top of my head, there's the visual, there's the auditory. So the visual has to do with, you don't really have dandruff, you're bald. You've got jokes. I give it to you. You've got jokes. You've got jokes. So that's nice. That's nice. So basically, there's the visual way of learning. That means there are people who learn by seeing. They need to see what they're learning. If you introduce a new topic to a child or to children in the classroom, they need to see what they're learning. They need to understand by seeing it, right? And so they are visual learners. A lot of us adults are also visual learners. We learn better by seeing. You can't be teaching me about coding and I can't see what you're coding. You can't be teaching me about agriculture and I can't see the seeds. I can't see, the soil, if that makes any sense. So there are people who thrive very well with visual. I think a lot of us thrive very well with visual because we are a very visual population, species of visual people. We like to see, we like to know by seeing that we are learning, right? And then there's the auditory. These people do better by listening, like the audiobooks. They want to listen, they want to listen to ASMR, they want to follow through ASMR, they want to listen to podcasts to gain better understanding, they want to listen to the teacher talk rather than, seeing. So there are people like that, they want to listen, that's auditory. You also have the sensory, they want to touch, they want to feel. Some children who are autistic or on the spectrum, they are like that, they want to touch it. And that is why the formative years of a child are really important. You can't be teaching a child anything at all and you don't expect that child to touch. And that's why I love the nursery and the reception phase of a child's life, because they are doing a lot of touching, seeing, feeling, they're developing their sensory organs and sensory parts of their body. They're running, they're jumping, they're molding, they're squishing, they're beading, they're lacing, they're hitting, they're running, they're doing all sorts of physical activities to get them to appreciate the world. And that is very, very important for any child's mental and emotional development. You don't just have a child and saddle them with education, numeracy, literacy, grammar, and all of that. They need to understand the world that they're living in. And the world we're living in has to do with a lot of sensory, visual, kinesthetic. They are kinesthetic learners. There's the third set of learners. The first one are the visual learners, the second are the auditory learners. They learn when they listen. The third are the kinesthetic learners. These ones are learners who learn by physically doing stuff, right? They want to get their bodies involved in the learning. And they're numerical learners, the fourth set. These people are good with numbers. It doesn't matter how old these people are. I've worked with children as young as 3 years that are mathematical geniuses. When I say geniuses, I mean geniuses. There was a child I worked with this year who was nonverbal. He was called a shy nonverbal. Now, he couldn't speak, but he could hear. And he was one of the smallest in the class. And guess what? He was a wizard, like a whiz kid. Like, he was giving sums like every other person in the class. And in 2 minutes, he showed me his board, and his board was filled with all the answers, right? And the class was like, he's the genius of the class. So that's a numerical learner. They're very good with numbers, no matter the spectrum, no matter the learning strength or disability, they're very good with numbers. And they're spatial learners. These learners are people who learn about the world. They're very good with space, with geography, with geology, with rocks, with earth, the universe. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, there are audiovisual learners. So these people are good with the vision, and they're also good with the auditory. So they both learn by seeing and by hearing. A very typical example is watching videos, watching PowerPoint presentations, because on these PowerPoint presentations, you have pictures, you have sounds, you have videos, you have all sorts of things on the board. So it is really important, if you're a teacher, whoever you are, to know the various learning styles of your children, and then use those learning styles to develop your lesson plan, to develop your scheme of work, so that everyone is involved. You cannot have lessons where you're teaching mathematics, science, languages, and you're not considering these seven types of learners. You must be able to fit all this in your lesson plan. You must be able to show that you are getting all the children inclusive in your class. And that leads me to another concept when it comes to teaching. This concept is called differentiation. Now, differentiation is using the different learning styles of the children to reach and to teach the children. So, I say, for example, I have low learners, I have slow learners, I have, strong learners, I have learners who they need to be repeated on various concepts before they understand a topic in class. Now, I develop a lesson plan that has them in mind, and I develop a lesson plan that has the strong ones in mind. So you're not just developing a lesson plan or doing a methodology of your lesson plan where you're taking care of the high flyers. By the way, high flyers are, the stars of the class, those ones who are brilliant. You know them, we all have them in our classrooms. So every teacher should be able to factor in the low achievers and the high achievers because you want to bridge the gap and because you identify with inclusion in a class. No true lesson or class is inclusive without differentiation, and that's the fact. You cannot have a smooth class. You cannot have an A class without differentiation. You need to use it. It doesn't matter the subject you're teaching. You have to water down your teaching so that it suits every single person in that classroom. I did it, a lot of teachers did it, and it is essential for the head teacher or the deputy head teacher to go through the lesson plans. When I used to do, we used to submit every Thursday, Friday before the next week. So that enables the deputy go through all the lesson plans to see how you aim to teach your classes, putting the right concepts in order. So let me give you an example. I'm the head teacher, this person is the deputy, and you are the teacher, right? Now, today is Thursday. Before Friday, you, the teacher, should have worked on your lesson plan for the next week. So you get to write all the topics you'll be teaching next week. There are some topics that need you to teach it for 3 weeks. There's some topics that need you to teach it for 2 weeks. So what you're going to do is do a lesson plan, put your resources in there, put your teaching methodology and the steps with which you're going to teach those lessons. You do that for every single subject. So, take for instance, you're teaching math, you're teaching literacy, you're teaching geography, you're teaching religious education. You have to develop a lesson plan or lesson plans that have objectives. Every single lesson plan must have objectives. You do not aim to teach anyone at all in this world without objectives. And objectives are simple. Objectives are asking you, what do you want to achieve at the end of this class? When I start teaching about parts of speech, for that class. At the end of the class, what do I want to achieve? Do I want the students to know what parts of speech are? Do I want them to know how to use parts of speech? Why do I want them to know how to use parts of speech? Do I give them examples? Do I give them a test? How do they identify parts of speech? This is what the objectives of every class topic seeks to execute. You cannot be an effective teacher that has an effective lesson plan without objectives. Check it out. Every training you've ever gone for as an adult, every assessment, every class or course you've ever gone for, there was always an objective because you're obeying the 6 habits or 7 habits of highly effective adults or teens by beginning with the end in mind. That's a book that was introduced to when I started out 11 years ago in education. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Sean Covey, or was it Stephen Covey? He has a son. I think I'm mixing the names, but it's an important book to have. You begin with the end in mind, and that is where your aims and objectives come in. You are aiming to achieve something at the end of each class. So you can't go into a lecture and then, you finish teaching that course. At the end of the day, your students don't know what you taught. When you ask them questions, they can't answer, they can't reproduce exactly or close to the concept. You will not have achieved your goal. So it's amazing to know that as teachers, it is a calling, it is a mission, it is a ministry. You don't just go into teaching just because, oh, there's no jobs. Teachers go through a lot of physical stress, emotional stress. Their virtues are taken out because you're running after kids to ensure that they develop, that at the end of that school day, they have learned one thing. And it can be hard, can't it? So basically, in this live stream, I think I've done a good job to talk about differentiation, talk about lesson planning and objectives and aims, talk about the 7 habits of highly effective people, talk about the various ways people learn, which is not restricted to children alone. Adults also learn, right? And yes, it is important to know that just as children have their learning styles, adults also have their learning styles. There are a lot of adults that do not learn with noise. They cannot learn in noise. They don't want no music, they don't want any TV on. They want to learn in silence, and that is perfectly fine. Myself, for instance, if I'm pressed for time, I don't need any sound on. But on a normal day, just as I can sleep in noise, I can learn with noise. It doesn't bother me at all. So you need to understand how you learn as an adult. You need to know if you learn when you're with a group of people who break down certain knowledge or concepts for you. You need to ask yourself, do you learn by jotting down? Do you learn by shorthand? Do you learn by listening to tapes? Do you learn by repetition? You're repeating and repeating and repeating the subject. You need to ask yourself how you learn. And then you should be able to give an answer that, okay, I learn in this manner, I learn in this manner. And then you put yourself in that position where you're able to learn and learn very well. No two persons learn the same. So you can have friends who you all play around together, but it doesn't mean that you learn the same way. That friend who's the party freak, who is the social genius, who's the live and battery of the group, might be the most brilliant. They know how they learn. How do you learn? So I'm not just asking teenagers, I'm not just asking young adults, I'm also asking adults, like people well into their 30s and 40s, because we learn as we live. The day you die is the day you stop learning. So you need to ask yourself, how do I learn? Do I learn with music? Do I learn with noise? Do I learn in quiet? Do I learn by jotting down things? Do I learn by repetition? Do I need to touch in order to learn? Do I need to sense and have a sensory feel in order to learn? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself, not just for the teachers now, but for the parents, for the educators, the school heads, and also for adults. So it's a whole lot when it comes to teaching. And until you get into the classroom and you know this and many more, you might just be looking at the profession. It's easy. Just flip out a book, open up the laptop, turn on the projector, and we're good to go. But it's a whole lot. Let me now get into classroom management. Now, classroom management is another ball game. In a lot of ways, classroom management is how you start and end a class. You do not start a class by not setting rules. The first day of every school day, whether it's the first day of, resumption, the first day of the week, you need to start that class by setting rules. How you want to do it is totally up to you. I'm saying this because if you fail to enforce rules, your class is going to be chaotic. It will be difficult for you to handle or manage, and that class will be overrun and taken over by the children. Now, you do not want to know what it feels like for you to have your class overtaken by children. You don't want to know. So basically, classroom management is how you set the tone of your class. What has worked for me might not work for you. What has worked for other teachers might not work for me. But one thing is certain: set rules. Set rules. You don't only set those rules, you paste them at specific points in front of the classroom. So at every point in time, the children are reading the rules. They know hands up for help, no loud voices. We whisper. We walk, we do not run. We keep our hands behind ourselves. We do not shout. We do not call names. We are kind. Those are classroom rules. So if someone steals someone else's pen, you're not being kind, and there's going to be a repercussion for not obeying that rule. And then there should also be a motivation chart where you celebrate the children who are doing, great strides in your class. They're copying their notes on time, they're submitting and turning in assignments on time, they're coming to school on time, they are neat, they are well behaved, they listen, they are helpful. So there will be like a motivation chart at the front of the class where everyone knows that if you've been a bad boy, your picture doesn't go up there. If you've been a bad girl, your picture doesn't go up there. So little things help to actually manage a class. It isn't easy, but it is achievable. Now, there is a saying that if the head of a school is chaotic, the whole school is going to be chaotic. Well, true in some instances. Should I say true? Yes, in a lot of instances, because as the head, it is how you run your establishment that the bottom down people will run it. You can't be a chaotic person bringing your chaotic self into leadership and you expect that your subordinates will not be chaotic. You're going to make the job chaotic for them. You're going to run the job in a chaotic manner, right? So as I run down, into the end gradually of this live, I'd like to say it is important for whoever is watching this, it is important, highly important to know how your children learn. If you do not know how your child learns, today is a good day to start. Watch my video, watch where I talked about the various ways that children learn and how to use those ways to reach them. Remember, if your child isn't learning very well, it doesn't mean that they have a problem. It might mean that you haven't studied to understand their learning styles, or they are actually taking their time to understand concepts. Either ways, it is important for you to know, okay, this is how my child learns. What I'm going to do is to work with him to understand him better, And so I will not judge him based on the outputs I'm getting, if this makes any sense. Children need that cooperation. Teens need that cooperation from their parents. If they're already under pressure to deliver, especially in African households, like my household, where we were literally competing to come first. In my opinion, it's a good thing because I want to come first. I don't want to come last. I want the gift that my mom has promised me. I want to show my friends that I'm capable of doing this, right? So it is important for parents to know the learning styles of their children so that you do not judge them. You need to also know that if your children have some learning disabilities, it is possible because most learning disabilities are genetic. So it is possible that you also had a learning disability. It is not time for you to live in self denial. Oh, I don't have it. I never had it. We don't have it in our family. Were you assessed? Did you study yourself? Did you do research? Did you know how you were able to learn? So, if you're truthful about these things, you'll be able to help your children. And that's why African households, Asian households, we need to be careful how we place undue expectations on our children. Your doll, you're so slow. Oh my God, man, you are slow. These are not words that any child wants to hear. They might not say anything, but they do not like it. Nobody likes it. Even if that child is a slow child, they don't want to hear it. It's just like saying, telling a thief, you're a thief, you're an armed robber. They don't want to hear it, even if they are one, right? So children need to be motivated. I'm not saying coddled. No, I'm not saying obliged or indulged. Children need to be encouraged and they need to be seen. Their struggles need to be appreciated. That, oh, you're struggling with this concept in school. How do you even know that as a parent that your child is struggling with a concept? Through homework. When you ask to see their work. Okay, what were you guys about today? What did you do? Let me see your work. That's how you know that your child is not writing in class. And that's why I like children being sent home with their work. So their parents know what's actually going on. You get to see if your child was writing. You get to see if your child didn't write. You get to see what their handwriting is like. You get to ask them questions. What did you understand from all this write up? What did you understand? Ask them questions to see if they actually understood. I'm telling you, when school send back homework, when school send back tasks and tests and assessments and your books back home, it is the school's way of telling you, parents, we want you to see how your child is performing. What do you say? Do you like it? And I'm very, very honest when I say my teaching experience back home in Nigeria far outweighs the experience I have here. And to that end, I appreciate the teaching experience I had in Nigeria because the parents were very, very intentional. Every day, the children go home with a book called a reminder. That reminder is a communication book between the school or the class and the parents. The parent gets to feel, okay, he's done this assignment, he's copied this note, thank you. It is a communication book. And through that communication book, the parents are aware of what their children are doing. But I didn't see it here. I've never seen it here. Books are not sent home every day. In Nigeria, books are sent home. Books are sent home like assessments, assignments. Maybe not in all schools, but most schools, they send you home with your assessments and your assignments and your homework so that whoever is at home can help you and teach you and you get to learn this thing. I think Africans are more intentional about education. We're more intentional, we're more precise. And I think it needs to be like a universal thing so that when children are not performing and children are not pulling on their weights, the parents get to intervene. But you see situations where children are not pulling their weights and the parents cannot be bothered. That becomes an issue. That's why you can be teaching in a class like myself and the children are applying mascara, they're busy talking and fighting in a class because they don't see education as important. And the way the world is going, the resilient child is the one who is going to rule over the non resilient child, if that makes any sense. So it's been over 1 hour. Um, it's amazing because this is my first live, like first official live, and I appreciate you for staying with me. I'm going to be here tomorrow, hopefully, and we get to talk about some things, catch up, and have fun. So thank you for joining me. Do well to subscribe, share, like, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.